What if I told you that the train station you rush through every day, headphones in, ticket in hand, could be hiding something sinister? That the same platforms where you've waited for a train are also home to restless spirits, apparitions, and echoes of tragic deaths long forgotten. Welcome aboard tonight's journey, because we're pulling into the 10 most haunted train stations in the UK. 2025. But let me ask you this. If you knew a ghost was watching you while you stood alone at a platform, would you still take the train? Or would you turn back, never daring to travel after dark again? Number 10. Liverpool Street Station. London, beneath Liverpool Street Station lies a chilling secret. During renovations in the 1980s, builders discovered hundreds of skeletons, many dating back to the plague years. Imagine digging a hole for new wiring and finding skulls staring back at you. Workers who were there reported something even stranger. One construction worker swore he saw a figure in tattered clothes walk past him in a sealed-off tunnel. Thinking it was a colleague, he followed Dongley to realize the tunnel had no exit, and he was completely alone, even today. Staff whisper about ghostly children's laughter echoing through closed platforms, footsteps running across empty and commuters reporting someone tugging at their coat when no one was there. Could Liverpool Street be less of a station and more of a gateway to London's restless dead? Number 9. York Station. York is already one of the most haunted cities in Europe, so it's no surprise its station has a reputation. Built in 1877, it has witnessed untold numbers of comings and goings and a fair share of tragedy. One of the most chilling tales is that of the headless railway worker. Passengers waiting late at night have claimed to see a man in overalls, lantern in hand, wandering the darkened tunnels. The problem? His head is missing. Some say he was a worker killed on the tracks in the 19th century, forever bound to the place of his death. Even stranger are the reports of shadowy figures peering out of old archways, their outlines flickering like smoke. When anyone steps closer, they vanish completely. York Station isn't just a place of travel, it's a stage where history repeats itself in the most terrifying ways. Number 8. Crewe Station. Cheshire Crewe Station has been a railway hub since the 1830s, and with that long history comes countless accidents, fatalities, and strange sightings. The most famous ghost is a phantom porter, man in uniform seen carrying luggage, always hurrying along the platforms. Witnesses describe him walking purposefully before the suitcase vanishes, and so does he. But the creepiest tale involves a ghostly boy. More than one passenger has reported seeing a young child, around 10 years old, standing near the tracks, staring blankly at trains as they rush past. Some even claim they've seen him step forward as if to cross, and then disappear into thin air. Rail staff believe he may have been killed on the tracks decades ago. But if that's true, why does he keep returning? Number 7. Birmingham New Street Station. Birmingham New Street Station looks sleek and modern on the surface, but its foundations tell a different story. It was built over a Victorian burial ground, and many of those graves were never properly exhumed. That might explain why staff frequently report cold spots, the overwhelming smell of decay in certain areas, and even disembodied whispers in sealed tunnels. One legend that refuses to die is that of the Grey Lady, a woman in 19th century dress seen drifting through underground passages. Some workers believe she's connected to a woman who threw herself in front of a train decades ago, her death making local headlines at the time. Passengers waiting alone at night have claimed to see her walking past, only to vanish when they blink. If New Street really is a hub for the dead as well as the living, then maybe those commuters are just brushing shoulders with ghosts every single day. Number 6. Carlisle Station. Carlisle Station sits in a city steeped in history, with Roman walls, bloody battles, and centuries of haunt. But its station holds its own share of supernatural tales. One story speaks of an elderly woman in black, spotted waiting on the platform for a train that never arrives. Locals say she's the spirit of a woman whose husband went off to fight in World War I and never returned. She still waits, clutching her bag, looking up every time a train arrives, hoping he'll step off. Even the police have been called to the station, late at night after reports of screaming and footsteps. But each time, they find nothing. Carlisle's platforms don't just serve the living there, a waiting room for souls that never got their reunion. Number 5. Lime Street Station. Liverpool's Lime Street is a grand and bustling place. But ask around and you'll hear whispers of the lady in black. Witnesses say she glides across the platform, wearing Victorian mourning clothes, before suddenly vanishing. Some believe she's connected to a tragic accident where a passenger fell onto the tracks in the 19th century. Others believe her story is tied to the underground chambers sealed beneath the station, some of which date back hundreds of years. Could her spirit be trying to escape from below, trapped in a place most of us will never see? Travelers report icy shivers when waiting alone here, as if someone is standing directly behind them. The lady in black may not speak, but her presence is enough to silence anyone. Number 4. King's Cross Station. London on November 18th, 1987. A fire ripped through King's Cross Station, claiming the lives of 31 people. Ever since, passengers and staff have reported chilling phenomena in the aftermath. The most famous sighting is of a woman in white, often seen sobbing on the platform. Witnesses describe her crying so loudly that commuters rush to help her only for her to vanish before their eyes. Security guards claim to smell smoke in areas that have long since been rebuilt. Others have heard panicked screams, echoing from nowhere, replaying that fateful night over and over again. King's Cross isn't just haunted, it's a scar in London's history that refuses to heal. Number 3. Huddersfield Station. West Yorkshire Huddersfield Station looks like a grand palace from the outside, but its beauty hides sinister tales within. Bar staff from the station's pub have long complained of poltergeist, activity glasses flying off shelves, locked doors swinging open, and voices whispering in their ears when no one is behind them. But the most disturbing legend is the faceless figure, described as unnaturally tall, with no distinguishable features. This shadowy entity has been seen pacing along Platform 1 late at night. Commuters who've locked eyes or whatever passes for eyes with this figure describe feeling overwhelming dread, as though it wanted them to step closer to the tracks. No CCTV has ever captured him. So what is he? An echo of something human, or something much worse? Number 2. Edinburgh Waverley Station. Scotland Waverley is Scotland's busiest station, but it may also be its most haunted. Its tunnels and chambers stretch beneath the city like a hidden maze, and many of those passageways have ghost stories etched into them. The most famous spirit is the lost soldier. Dressed in uniform, he approaches travelers, asking for directions to his barracks. People answer him, only to watch him fade into thin air mid-sentence. Even more unsettling are the reports of phantom trains' engines pulling into the platforms with no lights, no passengers, and no destination. Staff swear they've heard the sound of old steam locomotives where no such trains run anymore. Could Waverley be a portal where echoes of the past still arrive right on schedule? Number 1. London's Ghost Stations bonus pick. London has dozens of abandoned underground stations, locked away from public view but very much alive in ghost stories. Take Aldwych Station. Closed in 1994, visitors who've toured the site speak of a ghostly woman in the tunnels, believed to be an actress from the nearby theatres who never made it home. Or Down Street Station, converted into a World War II bunker. Staff say you can still hear echoes of Churchill's wartime broadcasts, faint voices bouncing off the walls decades later. Even Holborn's abandoned lower platforms have reports of footsteps, laughter, and cold gusts that rush past as though a train has just pulled. Except there's nothing there. These stations are sealed to the public, frozen in time. But the spirits, they're still waiting for their train. So, now that you've heard these stories, here's the question I'll leave you with. Would you dare walk through one of these stations alone at night? Or would you keep your head down, trying to convince yourself the footsteps behind you are nothing more than your imagination? If you loved this ghostly journey, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more chilling tales, and explore the other videos linked in the description. And remember, the next time you're standing on an empty platform, listen carefully, because the sound you hear may not be your train. It might be something else